How can Uber and Lyft riders keep themselves safe? Let's talk about it. Welcome everyone, Mark here with Uber Hints. And sometimes we have fun on this channel. Unfortunately, today is not one of those days because there's been another tragedy in the rideshare community. This time to a rider. 21-year-old Samantha Josephson in South Carolina, University of South Carolina student, was brutally murdered by a fraud Uber driver. So let's talk about what happened. Very briefly, last Saturday night, a group of friends were leaving and Samantha got into what she thought was her Uber car. The black vehicle was parked there, got into the vehicle, disappeared. Her friends did not know what happened to her. Her family did not know what happened to her. 12 hours later, she was reported missing, and soon after that, they found her body. She was killed by stabbing. Now, what we're going to talk about here is not the individual that killed her, because I don't like to give those people a lot of publicity. What I'd rather do is focus on what we can do to keep ourselves safe. And some of these things are relatively easy. Now, the first thing we want to do is make sure we're getting in the right vehicle. Don't assume because a black vehicle pulls up to the curb that you are getting in the right car. A lot of black vehicles look alike. I mean, I travel a lot, I rent a lot of cars. From the outside, one looks pretty much like the other. Even lower end vehicles these days can look like nicer cars because they're making good cars these days. And especially at night, we may have had a few drinks. Make sure you're getting in the right car. The best way to check this is a license plate. License plates are not similar. Every license plate is different. That license plate should show up on your app. It does show up on your app. Make sure it's the right license. That's the way I always identify my car. When I'm at airports and I see a silver fill in the blank, I can't always recognize cars, but what I'm doing is looking at the silver cars that go by and I'm checking out the license plate. Typically I look at the first three letters, and as that car is pulling up, okay, it's silver, it's got the first three letters, then I do a quick double check. So now you know you have the right vehicle. Chances are great that if you have the right vehicle with the right license plate, you're getting in the right car. But let's double check. Look at the picture in the app and look at the driver. Now I get it, this is also not the ideal way because people look different in pictures than they do in real life. You get a guy like me, white, bald male, hey, we all look alike. But the point is, you don't want to be getting in a car that has someone that's completely different. If you see Mark as your driver and there's a woman behind the wheel, if you see Mark as your driver and there's a guy who's 25 years old with bushy brown hair, you know that something's awry. Don't get in that vehicle. The other thing you want to do is ask them, who are you looking for? Now, one of the things that they're trying to start a campaign now is, what's my name?
Say my name.
Yeah, it's a good starting point, I suppose, but I would rather that we check out the license plate and the vehicle first. But if you ask them, who are you looking for? And they say, I'm looking for Mark. Okay, now I've got four things that I've done. I've checked out the car. I've checked out the license plate. I've checked out the driver, and I've confirmed that they're looking for me. If I really want to, I can ask the driver his name too. Match that up with my app. And finally, if you can, travel with a companion. It is far more difficult to abduct, to hurt, or harm people that are traveling in a group. Two or more people are always going to be safer. Now again, I know this can't always happen, but whenever possible, travel with a companion. Or at the very least, if you're traveling with a group of friends, if you're out for the night with a friend or friends, look out for each other. If you see that your friend is getting in a car, maybe you could take the initiative to say, hey, let me see your app, and help them out. Or vice versa. you can expect that of the people that you're out with. Now, what I'm going to say here is a little touchy because I did hear a comment from this young lady's father, and I cannot begin to fathom the pain and the misery that someone must be going through to lose a daughter in that way. The father said that there should be more responsibility on the part of Rideshare. I have to say, I think Rideshare is doing a pretty good job. I think when they give you photos of the car, they give you photos of the driver, they give you the make, model, color, and license plate, I do think that's a pretty reasonable expectation. So I think a lot of responsibility has to land on us as a passenger. In every interaction, we are accepting 50% of the responsibility. And I think when Rideshare does what they've done up to this point, they also require that there be trade, a window dressing, there be the Lyft or Uber logo in the windshield or on the vehicle. So they really are doing a lot of things. Now, it's my understanding that there has been talk, at least in South Carolina, of requiring lighted signs by the Rideshare vehicles. I think that's just one of those feel-good measures. Everyone feels like we've got to do something. There's been a terrible tragedy. We have to do something. A lighted sign is almost irrelevant. Because if someone is really determined, they're dead set on hurting somebody else, going online and paying $35 for a lighted sign, anybody can do. I really don't think there's that much protection in having a lighted sign. If that individual that killed this young woman, if that's what he set out to do that night, it's really easy to see someone that's looking in an app, looking around, hey, they want a ride share. Pull up next to them, see what happens. If you have a light in your car, matter of fact, I could argue it might even be an easier way to entice that person to enter your vehicle. I get it. They're taking measures, but I just don't know if that one is going to be helpful. So, as a quick recap, check the color, make, and model of the vehicle. Check the license plate. Check the driver profile. Ask the driver their name. Do all of those things before you get in the car. Oh, and ask them, who are you looking for? If we do those things, we are going to greatly diminish the opportunity for these bad people to take advantage of us and hurt us. Well, this one's short, sweet, and to the point. Maybe we'll have a little more fun tomorrow. As always, leave your comments down below. I'd like to hear your ideas on this one. Please like and share the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe and ring that bell icon so you know when I post new videos. Thanks, everyone. I'm Mark with Uber Hints.